Injury update, nothing really changed since yesterday. So Taryn and Smoot will not practice. Javon Solomon, Ty Johnson both limited, and the rest will be full. So with that, I'll take your questions.
How did Josh get through taking any snaps yesterday, just given that there are questions about that hand?
Yeah, he did well. And we move forward to today, and we'll see how today goes.
Is there an IR possibility for Taryn? Do you guys know?
We're kind of seeing what the options are at this point and just trying to make the right decision here.
John, Sean's first time. You're going to see Waddle and Tyreek without your two longtime safeties. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the safety position. What's your viewpoint going into it against those two guys with this group of safeties?
Well, I'm confident. Those guys are great players. Those two receivers. I mean, they're unique in their skill set. Extremely fast, great receivers. Future Hall of Famers. I mean, they're tough to go against, and I know we'll face Jordan down there, and excited for that. I know he's excited. I'm sure about that, knowing him, and what a job he did for us, both on the field, off the field, with his play, with his leadership, and I mean, I can remember him I'll never forget him driving to Kansas City when he had the punctured lung, and I mean, it's just a sign of who he is and the type of competitor he is, and so we certainly miss him and his family, but we also we pulled for him too, and it'd be exciting. It'd be a good night for some good competition there.
With Austin, go ahead, sir.
Sean, with the extension with Spencer Brown, could you just talk a little bit about his growth and what you've seen from Spencer since he came in?
Yeah, happy for Spence. He's worked hard. He's a guy that has really grown through his years here, and you watch his play and the way it's developed over the years, and that position is hard to find, right? Good tackles, and so I'm happy for him, and looking forward to him continue to grow as he moves forward here.
I know it's just one game with Spencer, but you had the whole summer to kind of evaluate him. What have you liked the most? Where have you seen him grow the most into year 4 here?
Spencer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's really the natural growth cycle development of a player that really becomes committed to his craft, and sometimes it just takes some time, and not with Spencer but with all players, right? Where you come in, and NFL is different, and you're competing at the highest level in the world, and so you grow through that early on, and you grow through an understanding of what I need the habits I need to develop into the player that I want to become, and if I want to stay in the league, number one, and then to do what Spencer has now accomplished. So it's a great thing for him. It should be a good thing for our team as well, and he's earned it.
Sean, I know nothing's easy on a short week, but how much does facing an opponent divisional you're so familiar with maybe soften the challenges that come?
Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of respect for them, and they're well coached, very talented, as Sal led off with the receivers, and it extends beyond the two receivers. So it'll be a high level evening right there, and we're looking forward to it. They're very familiar with us. We think we have some familiarity with them. But it's just two good teams going against each other, and we look forward to it. I'm sure they do as well.
You said you'd see how practice goes today again with Josh. Is there anything specific you want to see him do out there to know that he's comfortable with that hand, or is it just going through his normal things?
Yeah, normal things.
Hey, Sean, were you, obviously you won, so it worked. Were you happy with the run-pass breakdown with Joe, the way Joe called the game? Because it was definitely skewed towards the run game. When you look back at it, were you happy with how it was meted out, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to tweak things. We look at things. I'm sure those guys get tired of me following up after games and things like that. You're always looking for areas where we can move forward and grow. And I thought Joe did a real nice job. And you look for the result. That's the important thing. But you're also looking for things we can do better. And starting with myself and Joe's, I know, wired the same way.
It might be similar to Spencer Brown, as you discussed him, but
Bless you.
with Greg Russo and his development, what gives you the confidence that he's going to be able to, I mean, he's not going to get 3 sacks every game, although probably not, but just to sustain his competitiveness and what he showed Sunday?
Yeah, so the question is him sustaining that,
Yeah,
or?
just, like, what gives you that confidence to make you believe that he can sustain it this time, now that he's at this point of his career?
Yeah, again, growth. I mean, Greg is so conscientious. He's always been that way since we drafted him, and I'm sure even before that, right? And he's a phenomenal person, number one, and a person of high character, and just you watch him grow on the field, you watch him grow off the field, and the way he's developing on the field is impressive, and he's certainly off to a good start. But I think, too, you've got to manage expectations, right? To your point, are you going to get 3 every week? I'm not a math major, but I think 17 times 3 would be like a record maybe, right? So, but, look, the game's going to come to him at times like it did the other day, and then sometimes, you're going to go up against some really good competition, and they're going to win some. So I think he's mature like that, and he understands that, and he knows he's always trying to grow each and every week and improve.
Sean, Bobby talked yesterday about how much pride you as the coaching staff take in having guys like Cam and Jamarcus ready to go, even if they're not getting starter reps. What do you guys do here that's unique that makes you as the coaching staff successful in that way?
Well, I think it's really the whole building. I think it's the coaching staff, to your point. I think it's, the way we develop the players, hopefully not just the player, but the person, with our development staff, our medical and training staff, our strength and conditioning. I mean, and then you got to have it, the DNA too, for us to develop it too. And so, I mean, something as simple as being coachable is huge. I know it sounds pretty basic and not maybe sexy in this case, but if one isn't coachable and they think they know it all, that's hard to break through. And so sometimes a player starts that way, but we're able to get through to them, and other times, you're just not able to move the needle the way you want to. So guys like Cam love it. The other night we had 2 UB players out there playing for us and playing a lot of reps and making some huge plays for us, and I love that piece also. Having a guy like Joe Andreessen on our team, I love that, right? And that was not handed to Joe. Joe earned that, and so, I mean, it's just really cool, really, how this thing works, right? And it's not just because of one person or one department, but it's all of us working together.
Sean, your confidence in Tyler has not wavered, even though maybe for some fans they question, but you've been steadfast in that. How big and important was it for him personally and the team to have the game he did, kicking extra points and field goals Sunday?
Yeah, that last kick there was huge. I mean, into the wind, not even really a straight direct wind, but a wind that was going, a little bit to the side. And I think he's really striking the ball well as it relates to field goals and extra points. And, so that's big. And now the other added dimension now is this kickoff, right? So, we've got to continue to work there, and I'm excited to see how we'll grow through the year with that as well.
Sean, what's the challenge in the way Tua operates that offense?
Well, I think their whole offense is a challenge, led by him, and I think Mike McDaniel does a phenomenal job. Just as a head coach, but also as an offensive play caller and designer of plays. So, I mean, they got tremendous speed. I mean, it's unlike I've ever seen, and not just this year, but in years past. So, they're tremendously talented and fast. And I mean, you saw the game the other day. I mean, if you don't get near them, they're gone, right? So even when you get near them, they pull away. So, they're really talented.
Heavy workflow for Daquan Jones and Ed Oliver in the opener. What do you need to see from Austin Johnson and Dwayne Carter to kind of, let their role grow a little bit?
Yeah, and that'll be important for us, Matt, as a team is those two and their growth. I thought they came in and did some good things in their limited time, albeit, but they'll continue to grow. I'm confident in that. And you got Austin, who's a vet, and you've got DC, who's a younger player, and but they're both kind of playing in those primary backup roles, right? So their development will be huge. Austin learning how, we like our guys to play and getting really comfortable and playing free with that, and then DC really taking his game, like was asked about Greg and Spencer. First year in the NFL there's a lot thrown at you, and if he can just kind of continue to edit and block some of that noise out and just focus on getting better every day, he'll be just fine.
Sean, you play former players all the time, but how much more of a competitive issue is it against Jordan? Not only because of the number of years he was here, but how central a role he played for your defense.
Oh yeah, I mean he knows so much of what we do, right? He knows. I mean he's got the playbook, right? So, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I should have tried to get that from him before he left here. I don't know, but I think he had 7 years of a head start on me with that, or 8, or I guess it was 7. So. Again, I can't say enough good things about Jordan. I love him. I know we're playing against each other. I'm coaching against him this week, and just want the best for him and his family always. And Micah too. Let's not forget Micah and what he did was mentioned earlier. Those guys, when I think of one, I automatically think of the other. So those guys were instrumental in moving this place where it's gotten to over the last 7 years.
Sean, with Keon Coleman leading your team in targets and receptions, what allowed you the confidence to use him that much in week number 1?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's, just game plan. Some of it's how the game was flowing. Probably a more specific question for Joe, really. But, and then too, I thought Josh did a phenomenal job of, going through his progression, going through his reads, and going where he needed to go to the open receiver. And I think that was some of it too, of just the ball naturally finding Keon when Josh was going through his progressions in proper order there. So that's good football, and happy to get Keon off to a good start there and in a rhythm here.
Coach, what explanation do you give for having such success against Miami of late?
We just try and do our thing. I mean, there's teams we've had success against, there's teams we haven't, and we just try and take them one at a time. And those games won't affect this game at all.